Merry Christmas, you filthy animals! In my journey to cover a Christmas-themed horror episode for every single week of December, I keep coming across Killer Santa episodes. They seem to be quite popular, and for example, a few episodes ago on my channel I covered a Tales from the Crypt episode called And All Through the House, which was basically a home invasion style story about a patient who escapes from a mental institute and then goes on a killing spree dressed as Santa Claus. And today we're talking about another patient dressed as Santa Claus, but this time he attacks people inside the asylum. His original Christmas spree, however, happened before he was confined to the asylum. The show is American Horror Story, which I'm sure that many of you have heard of, but the Christmas special episode we're talking about today is relatively underrated, and it's horrifying as well. It's called Unholy Night. Even the name suggests that it's horrifying and sacrilegious. But let's talk a little bit about the show. American Horror Story is an anthology horror series, meaning that each season unfolds a brand new story. Its first season came out on October the 5th, 2011, and it's still going strong, with the 13th season on the way. It's coming out around Halloween 2026. It was so popular that it even got a direct spin-off show in 2021 called American Horror Stories. Literally all they did for the title of that one is make the story part plural, which is confusing as hell, like surely that's not a good branding choice. On top of that, it had two other spin-offs and one that has just been announced. American Horror Story was influenced by many things, but mainly psychological horror films and slashers. The Amityville Horror and The Shining are some of the standout influences, and if you haven't heard about The Shining, then you're living under a rock. And a few of the slashers that it was influenced by are ones that probably everyone knows about as well, like Halloween, A Nightmare on Elm Street, and Friday the 13th. Anyways, let's stop talking rubbish about the backstory of it, and let's get into the reason you're all here. The Christmas special episode called Unholy Night. It was released on December the 5th in 2012, which, let's admit, that was pretty good timing for Christmas. It's from the second season, which mainly focuses on cruelty inside the asylum that it's set in, but it features creatures. I didn't expect that to rhyme, but it does. But it features creatures such as aliens and demons, and it also features serial killers. I'm gonna read off a quote that I have from the co-creator of this series, Ryan Murphy, and he talks about this episode in it. Okay, so he says, Christmas and American Horror Story do not go together, and so we were trying to figure out what's our version of Christmas, and the answer of course is a homicidal Santa. I suppose that probably is what everyone resorts to when they think of Christmas horror. Well, that and killer snowmen, because Jack Frost exists. And just so you know, there's a few clips in this episode of a secondary story, but we're not going to get into that because they're not important to the details we need to know about this Killer Santa. Anyways, I'm Kai and this is Stop the Lights, so let's just stop talking rubbish and get into the meat of this episode. The episode opens up on Christmas Eve in 1964. This kid asks his mum for a new hat. Santa says if he listens to his mother, the hat he wants will be under his tree in the morning. Now the reason they're here is to do some shopping, but the shop is closed. And Santa is over the moon about this because his shift is over. I bet he's really looking forward to passing out on the couch tonight with a beer in his hand. A man named Lee Emerson comes up to him and says that the kid will be pissed if he doesn't get his hat. And then he shoots him 5 bloody times. We cut back to 1962, which was 2 years before this. A little girl comes down the stairs to a blood-covered Lee Emerson dressed as Santa Claus, but without the beard, and that's not his blood either. Of course, she thinks it's the real Santa, and apparently he's here 6 days before Christmas. Santa goes upstairs to take the parents hostage and ties them up. He says he chose this house because the outside of it was excessively decorated. This cranky bastard should appreciate some liveliness, but apparently not. He gives the parents a choice.
I am gonna let you choose which one of you I kill first.
This actually reminds me of the 90s Christmas movie The Ref. Have any of you seen that? But this guy is just so much more psychopathic than Gus, the character in that. He says he's not in the Christmas spirit, so then he just shoots both parents. We cut forward to 1964, where the Christmas celebrations are underway at the Briarcliff mental institution. Now, Briarcliff, the mental institution in this episode, is corrupt and abusive. And 9 times out of 10, instead of helping the mental patients, the staff usually harm them. Part of that is because this nun here, Sister Mary Eunice, is possessed by a demon. In one of the earlier episodes, there was an exorcism gone wrong, and the demon that was cast out of someone else jumped straight into Sister Mary Eunice. Originally, she was a lovely nun, but now she's a crazy bitch. I'll stop you there for a second now. If you're enjoying the video up until this point, please do me a favour and like and subscribe. If you don't, then Santa will come and take you hostage. After lining all the patients up, Sister Mary Eunice chops off strands of their hair and puts them in a bucket. She reckons this is a worthy sacrifice in the name of Christmas. And she's only doing this to appear dominant over the other people, the patients. The head of security, Frank, tells the doctor of the asylum, Dr. Arden, that they should call the police and tell them about Sister Mary Eunice and what she has done. Sister Jude, who used to be the head nun of the institution, puts a knife to Sister Mary Eunice's neck. She threatens to kill her in order to send her back to hell. She manages to escape and call security, and then Sister Jude gets arrested. Dr. Arden, being the bollocks that he is, tells Sister Mary Eunice that Frank wants to confess to the police. Now apparently Lee Emerson is locked up right here in this asylum, and he's the Killer Santa, by the way. Mary Eunice goes into his cell and gives him a brand new Santa costume. So this evil bitch right here, this possessed bitch, is gonna be the cause of the continuation of his murders. We get a flashback to last Christmas in 1963, where Sister Jude is preparing the patients to get their photos taken. Lee Emerson asks for his handcuffs to be loosened, but because of what he's done, having killed 18 people, she doesn't listen to him and lashes out on him, telling him that he should be locked up forever so he can never commit crimes like that again. Which I think is quite reasonable, you know. The photographer arrives, and then Lee Emerson doesn't just attack the guy handing out the presents, he brutally devours him. This is the moment he was put into a cell. Now we cut back to present day 1964. Dr. Arden gives Mary Eunice ruby earrings as a Christmas present. He says they belong to a Jewish woman who was a patient of his and a member of a Nazi camp. Now apparently she swallowed them and shit them out every day to hide them from the Nazis. That's dedication, except eventually she died from them. No shit, Sherlock. It's pretty obvious that would happen. And instead of being disgusted by this story, the sister is delighted.
They bring out the rose in my cheeks.
Which he wasn't expecting at all, so it was all a test. Then we see that Sister Jude is negotiating in an attempt to get back into the asylum. Dr. Arden visits her because apparently he's changed his mind about Sister Mary Eunice. They team up to stop her. We jump back to the asylum where Santa has been released.
Look at you. The renewed soul.
Do you think so? Will he go on another killing spree, or...
What do you say we blow this pop stand, go savage a few elves, and then suck on each other?
A sucking spree? The dirty bastard. I suppose we'll have to find out.
We are watching Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
You know, maybe she's not so bad after all. She's good taste in Christmas movies. Probably better than mine. I just watch Christmas horror like this every Christmas. My favourite Christmas movies are Gremlins and Krampus. Does that say much about me? Sister Jude and Dr. Arden meet up in the asylum and begin plotting how they'll stop Mary Eunice together. During this conversation, Mary Eunice is having a Christmas party with Santa and the rest of the psychopaths. Dr. Arden is going to lure her to Sister Jude's office and lock it so the two nuns can settle this once and for all. Santa Claus has something else planned though. I know his name is Lee Emerson, but I'm just gonna keep calling him Santa because he is Santa as well. As the security guard Frank is up on the ladder decorating the tree, Santa knocks him down off the ladder and tries to kill him. That doesn't work out too well for him. because he gets pinned down and beat like hell. He gets handcuffed and put back where he was in his cell. But not for long, because Mary Eunice kills Frank, lets Santa out and sends him alone to the meeting with Sister Jude. I bet she wasn't expecting extra company. Remember I mentioned that part where Santa wanted his handcuffs loosened last Christmas? Well, he's clearly here to take revenge on her for not letting him loosen them and lashing out on him. And remember how the plan was for Dr. Arden to lock Sister Jude's office so that Sister Jude and Sister Mary Eunice would be locked in there together and that Sister Mary Eunice would not be able to escape so they could settle the matter together. Well, that's turned out the other way around. Dr. Arden faked the team up with Sister Jude and he's been working with Sister Mary Eunice the entire time. Also, he used Sister Jude's own plan of locking the door against her. Mary Eunice locks Santa Claus in with Sister June.
What are you doing here?
I'm here to open my present.
Oh, he's just here to open his presents. Oh, thank God. Oh, that makes sense. He's not going to kill her then. Well, we're all jolly. We're all merrily happy.
I think I'd rather tell you about my fantasies, like the one where I jam this gigantic crucifix up your ass.
Well, never mind then. Is he bipolar or what? Like, he just changed his mind in a split second.
Please, sister, where's your sense of Christmas spirit? I'm just beginning to feel the comfort and joy.
Okay, so killing nuns is part of the Christmas tradition. I'm glad he clarified that part. Santa slams Sister Jude against the wall and the bastard is having way too much fun. Apparently to the extent that he's making children's noises. He notices the weapons up on the wall and humorously says that God must have left them there for him. He takes a whip off the wall. It's revealed that Sister June used to whip him as he was bent over the table, and now he's doing the same thing to her. I actually wasn't expecting that ending. For some reason I thought a show like this would kill a character like that off. Well anyways, I'm assuming that that's the first time that she has killed someone as a nun. I bet she didn't expect her first kill to be Santa Claus. Anyways, that's the end of this episode. Santa's dead, so no more presents this year unfortunately guys, I'm sorry. In all seriousness though, I actually enjoyed that episode. In my last video about the Tales from the Dark Side Christmas special called Seasons of Belief, I mentioned that it wasn't as good as the episode that I did in the video before that, about the Tales from the Crypt episode and All Through the House. Well, I'm gonna say the exact same thing about this one. It was a good watch, I enjoyed it as I said, but it definitely wasn't as good as And All Through the House. So go and watch my video on that if you want to see why. Now I do have a critique about this episode. It's that Santa doesn't appear as much as I would like him to appear, and the episode instead shifts its focus on Sister Mary Eunice. Now you probably have many reasons to disagree with me here, but I came here to see a killer Santa, not a possessed nun. Aside from that though, there were parts that were very well done, like the intro for example. I know he takes the parents hostage and kills them and all that, but it still got me in the Christmas spirit. For some reason Christmas horror tends to have that effect on me. I'm actually curious how many people that Santa killed in this episode. I know he killed 18 people apparently in one night, but we're not shown all of those. He actually doesn't kill anyone in the present day, but we do get some flashbacks of people he killed in the past. The ones we were shown was the Santa Claus outside the shop in the beginning. He literally killed him just because he told a kid to behave. There were also the parents of that little girl that he took hostage, who he killed basically for having too many Christmas lights on the house outside. Then there was that guy who was handing out Christmas presents during the photo shoot in the 1963 flashback. It's not fully revealed whether he killed him or not, but it definitely looks like he did. Now if it was for no reason at all, just because Christmas is not his cup of tea. I think that was all the people he killed, not too sure. So basically 4 people. But let's not forget that there were moments that Santa almost came very close to killing people, which were quite terrifying moments I have to say. Like when he knocked Frank off the ladder and started beating him up. He didn't actually end up being the one to kill Frank, as Sister Mary Eunice did it for him. And then of course there was the ending where Santa pinned down Sister Jude. He almost had her, but of course she ends up killing him instead. How the turns have tabled. So it definitely did have me on the edge of my seat, wondering whether or not he would succeed in his murder attempts. At some points anyways, I was skeptical, will he do this or will he not? Also, a lot of Sister Mary Eunice's evil comes from promoting and being interested in things outside of God. They're basically just holiday oriented things. Like that part where she says,
We are watching Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
it's a tactic she employs to distract the characters from the true meaning of Christmas and gaslight them into believing that Christmas is all about reindeers, Santa Claus, snowmen, gingerbread men, whatever the hell. Anything except God, basically. Anyways, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like and give me some recommendations of shows you want me to cover on the channel, episodes from shows to be specific, and if you want me to cover more episodes of American Horror Story, I suppose. Good luck, I'll see ya.